trying to go back. It's slow going back, but long story short is that Somaye Harvard, she came in April, made membership, and then a few weeks after that, right before Nurses Week, is when she complained. She was telling me about issues that she's having at work related to discrimination. So when she sent this, okay, it's still rolling. It's still trying to connect us to the rest of the message. So she sent this long, I mean, like maybe 3 pages through WhatsApp. She said she could not email it, but she wanted it to be more privately communicated with me, so with NIC. So when she sent it, I read it. She said she needed to have it more professionally written because there was a lot of subjective, objective, explanation about what was going on. So I took her letter she was writing to her employer. So I wish I could go to it, but I have copies of it. I'm that neurotic when something like this happened. I took a screenshot of the whole communication and it's in the emails. But she wanted to send this letter of grievance to her employer. And she wanted it worded properly, professionally, so that it doesn't have any languages that was not proper. So I took the letter, copied it, put it into my system, and fixed it up for her. Upon sending it to her, she was very happy that, it made sense how it was written. Finally, she kept the original, but then this edited version, she was going to now send it to her employer. So that was the week before Nurses Week. And then Nurses Week rolled on, and I was sending Happy Nurses Week to all of the members in NIC at the time. So this is when I said, she said, "How are you doing?" This is a conversation later on. I said, "Happy Nurses Week." She responded, "Happy Nurses Week. For me, it was interesting. My company gave me a termination letter as an award. And that really broke my heart. I'm like, wow, seriously? Sorry for your experience." As we went on, she has so much on her plate that she'll write about and she'll try to explain that. When you go on to read, I started to understand that she wanted NIC to step in immediately and resolve her issues. We're not, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but NIC is not equipped for that. To walk into an international jurisdiction and take over and solve people's problems. We're here to internally help you, process the issues. Like editing her letter, NIC could do that so that she can present herself professionally. Getting counseling about how to conduct yourself in a discrimination situation. A lot of us have experienced that. So yeah, we can give you one-on-one counseling and stuff like that. But she wanted NIC to step into her country and help her resolve her issues, and she's in Dubai. I'm in the US. I've never traveled to Dubai and don't have any legal representation in Dubai to do anything like that on behalf of NIC. So she went on to write, and she goes back again to the issues, right? So we were sending out again Happy Nurses Week, and it was not pleasing to her because she is still bitter. She's very upset about what's happening at work, and because NIC could not resolve it for her, now she's terminated. This was her response. She said NIC is a real place for nurses advocacy and helping them. Please help me with the current and accurate details about my concerns. I know that you are busy, you know. I know that you're busy with webinars and how one to wish and best, best for nurses, and emphasize follow-up, seek help from nursing communities. This is the best time for support. Who is like me, starting is change. As you can read that, the wording gets, how you call it, blurred, but this was my response to her, that she should understand that her concerns are valid. We take her concerns valid. We take her situation very much important, but that she needed to understand the nature of her situation. Unfortunately, I told her that you are in an urgent need of assistance in the middle of international event. Your request is equally important. However, you need to allow me to follow up with you. I thought I was doing something. I thought I was intervening. Okay. So I wanted a Zoom meeting with her on Thursday. She did not respond. So then yesterday I wrote her back. Mind you, this was written May 12th. She did not respond until yesterday when I wrote her back asking her. We have not heard back from her, and this was her response. Thank you for asking. And then today, that was yesterday, thank you. Today she wrote back to say that she wasn't involved in the international event. Come to think of it, everyone were invited to participate during Nurses Week. Weeks prior to the event, the week of International Nurses Week. I don't see anywhere where she participated or wanted to participate, and no one involved her. She says, please let people know when you can't help them. Waiting for nothing can kill people, especially those who are in need. And my thing was, exactly what's your concern? But when I was writing this, exactly what's your concern, she had already written on NIC Global, spilling out her anger towards the organization. So then I wrote, inviting her to come to this Zoom meeting, and this is the same message I posted in NIC Global. This is what she wrote. I don't want to bother myself and others more. I want to prevent others from recurrence of my experience. I needle stick and nobody report. If you guys understand what she's saying here, she's going back to the work issues, vaccination issues, needle stick issues, going back to that. And then she says, sorry, my dear. She says she's out. This is when I understood that she's been working with Dina as well, that Dina been trying to give her some infection control protocols that will help her understand the violation that her work put against her. As conversation went on, she told me that she left, and it is represented in NIC Global that she's left the group chat. So these are the conversation we've had with this lady. How do we channel this? What you guys see in this? It being our first encounter of who knows how many to come.
Well, I think she wanted somebody, to step in immediately and be like, hey, we can help you save your job. But that's really not what NIC is for. That's especially you're going based off of what she's telling you. I can tell you all day one story, but you don't know possibly the other side. I'm not saying there was another side, but you may not know the other side. And then that opens up NIC to a little more legal issues, especially if she's trying to get you to like, I guess, confront and whoever she was working for. So,
I think this is really good that this has happened, especially now, because it gives us really good insight as far as how we're going to be directing leadership to handle issues. We are building a global organization. We cannot, absolutely cannot stray away from the principles of what NIC is for: connection, collaboration, and empowerment. Anybody who says help me, this ain't the organization. They need to go to United Nations, they need to go somewhere else. This is nurses in charge, right? Nobody should come talking about help me. What are the resources available to deal with this problem? Help me is a helpless statement. We don't deal with that. Absolutely no. Absolutely not. And you know what? Had she not removed herself, we probably would have had to remove her. Because if we allow, there are so many nurses disgruntled all over the world, and if we allow that energy to come into NIC, we will go nowhere. We will sink before we even get started. So I think you did way more than beyond in communicating with her. And just personally, me being out there talking about you, Dr. Niampu, I really don't want people to have that type of access to you, because some people might be mentally unstable, and then that opens the entire organization up to legal issues, because now they have a piece of paper with your signature, with your name, and you are the doctor and the founder of this organization. That puts our entire mission in jeopardy. So I'm working really tirelessly to make sure that there are multiple ways they can get to. You're
Oh, the
gonna have
letter does
your,
not have my name on it. It
oh, you
was,
did not?
oh,
Okay.
no, 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 no. It's from her
Thank
verbatim
God.
of what she wrote to her employer. I took that, edited it, and sent it
Okay.
to her with
Back to
her
her.
name on it.
Perfect.
Oh no, it's not me writing the letter to her employer. No
I
way.
just,
Listen
some
to me.
some people are not right in the mind. Seriously, I love them, but they're not right in the mind, and they can get us into so much trouble and really put a bad taste as
well,
to
and
who.
that almost sounded, a little threatening, like people
Yeah,
do not have time to wait. Like that's a little,
yeah,
it
no, no,
sounded a little suicidal. Um,
She's
and
lost
that's,
her job. I can imagine what's going on through her mind. She was already on the edge before she lost her job because
mhm,
she sent all these pictures. And when I say I keep records, I took a snap because I'm thinking when she disassociates with NIC, she might close all her communications, all those chats. She
mhm,
might, delete them. But I'm taking Snapchat, I'm taking picture of everything and keep it in my record because these are things that you communicated. And this is how we responded to you. So if
mhm,
you go out there and have a different picture of it, listen to me. All of these images will defend us. We're not sitting here and just saying, oh, she said this. No, we will have your own writing with your name on top of all of those pages to show that, listen, I've been in legal issues with my employers. I've gone to the federal level, so no one can tell me how to defend NIC or how to defend myself. So she's barking on the wrong tree because we're here to make sure that we can defend our nurses, help you.
mhm,
And like you said, when someone says help, we're here to, you're in charge.
yeah,
If you're in charge and you're telling us help, then who, at least you can say, guys, this was my situation, this is how I handle it.
yeah.
This way it help other nurses. But you're coming, you're completely helpless. We're not built up to,
Mm. That's not what we do.
well, yeah, you don't know each hospital system. Each hospital system has their own protocols, guidelines. That's a,
No. The Evelyn brought up a really, really, really good point. She asked, is she even a nurse? And I think that is a really good
that's
good
why
thing, because
I wanted us to
you
have this
y-
conversation.
she might be, but this if this is a professional organization, and this is why I kind of like really am like everybody in NIC really should be on LinkedIn, or we should have a resume. We should have a resume of everyone on NIC. We should have some kind of paper trail because anybody can come in Africa, in Nigeria. I think there's a bunch of fake nurses around, so
In
anybody can come
America, in
in.
Florida,
It's
we had a, we had an entire how do you call it,
yes,
Fake
scale
school
that
going.
came from
fake.
LPN to NPs
Yes,
right here in Florida. So don't
yes.
you go to Africa? It's right here in the great
It's
USA.
true. It's true. So we really should that's something we really should put into where when they sign up for NIC and they come into our community, we give them between like 30 to 60 days to submit their resume, and if there is no resume submitted, they will be taken out of the community. And they don't have to be a nurse, but we need to have some way to prove that this person is legitimate, who
Yeah.
they say they are. And this is really good, especially before we start getting funding coming in, because if we have funding coming in and then it comes out that we have illegitimate people, then the whole thing can go up in a sham. So that's a really good question, Evelyn.
Yes. Welcome, Kendria. We have an issue on hand that we're trying to debrief. Yes. You guys may also remember, I believe that was early this year, the request was
Kendria.
out there for everyone to send their resumes, and we had some responses from that request, and we'll repost it because absolutely we have members who are leading, who are now in leadership role, and we need to legitimize their
Mhm. They could send us a resume, or your LinkedIn profile actually acts as a resume.
yeah.
So either their link to their LinkedIn or
Mhm.
their actual CV. And we're in the process of migrating everyone who is on WhatsApp into our actual official community. So maybe as we do that migration, before we put them into the community, we can request for them to send us either their LinkedIn profile or their actual resume, so we could fact check.
Absolutely. Sounds great. Have you guys ever had um anything like this happen where you work
Oh,
or
I
anyone has?
have this all the I have this happen to me all the time. They'll say, Amy said this, Amy said that. No, no. Check the text. That's why I sent it to you in a text. Because I know how people are. They will take one thing that you say verbally over the phone. I recently had somebody that was very unhappy, and I don't even know what the reason was that he was unhappy about, but he was blasting me on Facebook, and I was like, wow, like that's sad. I feel like I did a lot for you, even put you in a position to be like in a leadership position, and you acted like that. So,
Yeah, it happens a lot with leadership. It happens a lot. People
mhm.
will be crazy on
Yes,
you.
they do some crazy things.
Hmm. I wanted to say one more thing, that like just in following up with this dispute, um, something that we really should do for our community is when a new person comes in, um, before we allow them full force into the community, someone should touch base with them. Someone, so right now I'm on a leadership because I was looking for regionals and country ambassadors. I don't let anybody in our community unless I vetted them. And I'm hours on the phone with these people because they're supposed to take care. You think about a leader takes care like Jesus. You take care and you nurture other people. So even if the person's coming in not at that level, but they're still a nurse in charge, we're thinking this person has the ability to go nurture and represent our organization. And we want to make sure that they are actual leadership material and not troublemakers.
Mhm.
So maybe depending on what region they come in, the regional director for that community can meet with them, and then when they meet with them, they give us the thumbs up, and then we let them into the community.
And I believe that
This
was
is,
the reason why. Oh, Neil, yes.
yeah, thank you. I think this is very important um, to really check the background of people before we can really entrust them, because these are things then that comes on. Even though it's just happening with her right now, it could be another person again. And the resume idea is very great. There's a guy who lives in California. This guy announced that he is a neurologist. And when I got that information, and he said that he is from Liberia, and for sure he's from Liberia. And from the hometown, I'm from closer there. So I was so excited knowing that there's a neurologist from closer to my hometown. So I started telling everybody, including Nyapu, and everyone. So one day I came from work and I said, let me check this guy up. Let me call him and ask him who he is. So when I called him, he said, oh yes, I'm a neurologist, or I came to the US so and so time. I have worked as this place, that place, and right now I am in San Francisco, and this is the hospital I work with. Even though my document have not been yet put, my profile has not been put on the net for people to really know, that rang a bell at the back of my mind. So I went on, I checked the hospital to check for all the neurologists that are there. There are 2 neurologists in that area. I could not find his name. So checking the employees in the medical field, like the doctors, and I could not find his name until I found his name as a nurse assistant. But he comes to Liberia and then tell people that he is a neurologist. So anyone in Liberia could have said, okay, I have problem. Let me go and see this doctor, especially he's from this town or from this region of the country, So we have to be careful about who comes on board, what's their background, because we're going to really receive more nurses and doctors coming on board. That I am a doctor, I am a nurse, and we cannot allow them to come on and then really bring shame to nurses in charge. So these are the kind of things that we will face these things. And thank God that we are a faith-based organization, and God is really going to give us the wisdom, and he's going to put out everything that is negative in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Wow. So this will be a routine way of handling situations like these. Members are free to come and listen to, because when someone come out in NIC Global and just say certain things and we don't respond to it immediately, it might create some funny feelings in other people who will say, maybe she's right, maybe they mistreated her. What could it be for me if I was in her situation? So that's the reason why we went right away and posted the link for all members to come on, and maybe they've encountered something with her. Dina, I wish Dina was on here, because from my knowledge that she communicated with Dina at some point regarding all of this, and Dina tried to help her to give her, you know, some professional documents that would guide her in the process. I think it was a policy about infection control, needle handling of bio shops. But here we are. But for everyone to know that NIC is not here to keep situations concealed. We are very much transparent, and we will continue to be that way, so that when members come and someone feel otherwise, we all have different feelings. The way Casey feel about this meeting is not the same way Amy will feel about it, but we can come together as a community and voice out what we feel about it, or maybe even the experiences that others have had with similar situations, which we share it and have these ideas come up, creating LinkedIn profile, submitting a resume, legitimizing your professional licensure, so that we're not putting you in positions or presenting list of members who are fraudulent or just make up. Then that looks like, and I see, it's just one person that can spoil the whole thing for the organization. People may not even take time to investigate and truly get closer to us to say, can I hear from you? They may just believe what they hear out there. So I'm glad that you guys took out your time to show up and for us to have a conversation about this and be able to debrief it properly. Because it is in our bylaw that we should debrief situations like these.
Does she have a LinkedIn, or do we know?
I think she does. I don't think it's well filled out, but I think she does. Mhm. If I may suggest one thing, I know it's in the bylaws to have a grievance meeting, but I'm just thinking, right now we're in the midst of building, and most of the people who sit on our committees and on our leadership teams, they are on a fierce mission to change healthcare. So they have multiple committees, multiple commitments. God gives the busiest people the most work to do. So we should embed in if there is a grievance meeting, give us between 5 to 7 days or 7 to 10 days. We're dealing with international. Other people want to be here. They can't at the drop of a dime, have an issue. And then also, if you do have a grievance, I propose that grievances should be removed from any of the chats immediately. And then we should also reach out to the community and let them know all grievances need to be emailed to our nurses in charge, and we will follow up and we will follow procedure and protocol, because in no other organization do you have you can have this kind of level of responsiveness. Things take time and there's a lot of people involved. So I don't think we should make our members, I don't think we should put our availability out there for our members, that whenever they have a problem, we could, at the drop of a hat, within days and weeks and months, just make it happen, because that's just not how any organization works.
Right on that, because I'm not often sitting around to have a meeting the same day.
Yeah.
It just so happened on a day that I'm off, and
Yeah.
it's, and you guys are available. Look, Amy is literally eating her lunch in her office, and mine is in the area. I see Kendria joining us, Evelyn. So you're right. These we're not representing the whole host of NIC members and leaders here. There's few of us here, but I truly appreciate you making time.
Yeah, and emails are really good because then we might not even, well, if we want to meet in person, we can, but it might not be everybody needed, depending on what it is, it might not be. But I just don't want people to feel like I'm a bad leader because I can't show up because someone is upset and
No, just that
Mhm.
this was spilled from a previous experience with conflict resolutions. When
Mm.
something has been publicized in in the broad spectrum,
Mm.
everyone's out there and someone starts screaming, you
Yeah,
don't schedule when
yeah,
to intervene. You
yeah.
have to go call everyone who can attend
Mm-hmm.
in the working
Yeah,
area and say, let us debrief this now. Let us
yeah,
clear the air so people don't feel that we did not reach this person's needs.
yeah.
But and that's the reason why we're having this meeting today and now, because she brought it into NIC Global. So the best response is to say, hey guys, anyone who has something to say about this, want to voice out their opinion on it, please show up at this time. And moving forward, true, when it's one of those things where we get it via email, we will schedule it.
Mm.
But if someone in the community come out unprofessionally and just come out like that, we have to intervene immediately so that people don't walk away with somewhat feelings that you don't know if someone's going to contact her. The conversation is going to be offline, so we
Mhm.
just want to make sure that you had time to you had the opportunity to come out to that meeting, but since you did not even come, we still have a channel of making it proper moving
Yeah.
forward. So yeah.
Dr. Nyampu, I don't know, has she ever been to any of our meetings? I have not remember seeing her
I do not
attend.
remember seeing her. That's right.
Okay,
And
okay,
we have recording of almost all of our meetings anyways.
okay. I
So
don't
she go
remember seeing
attending.
her.
So you're right. But truthfully said, she came in April and we're in May. So she's
Okay.
been with us just a matter of a month.
So from the time that she came into nurses in charge, from when that started of her issues at her employer, how long was that?
Looks like a chronic issue because she goes back in her explanation that this been happening for, yeah, like last year. When I go back, if we go back to the thread of conversation that I had with her, this is not 2024 issue. It's something that's been going on. Other staff members, if I remember right from that conversation, that other staff members have left the organization, have been terminated, and the issues have not been resolved. Managers have been mistreating other staff. So she just coming to NIC, maybe thinking this is the organization that will save me, that will save the day,
Mhm.
and did not receive that. That perception that we have of our employers when we go, okay, this is a job I would retire at, and something don't work out, and we don't get retired by the job, we get terminated. Then our expectation fell short. So I believe that's what happened to her. And I wish NIC had that diplomatic jurisdiction where we can just cross borders and go and diffuse the fires, but that is not NIC. That perception should be clear up. That we don't go to other governments and tell them what to do. That's why we collaborate. That's why we actually partner with organizations in different nations, because now that organization become our first tool, right? We're able to build our mission on that platform. That organization become our first tool. We don't just enter a country and say, here we are, we're taking charge. No. So even if we could help this lady, we would have to partner with an organization there. That organization will have to give us that memorandum of understanding. This is who we are, this is who they are. Now that organization can now be our insider in that country. But we don't even have that in Dubai to say we're going now in there. We can be sanctioned as a US organization. The US can be sanctioned, we can be sanctioned, and we may close down because we're crossing other jurisdictions. So come on, in any professional sense, we cannot do that. We could have helped her in many ways, as we already started doing, but she wanted immediate help. She wanted us to wave the magic wand and make her situation go away. Even being in the US, when I had my issues with my employer, there was no magic wand that could have been waved, you know. So that expectation was just too high and unfairly treating NIC in that sense, when we are actually paying attention to you along the way. Even in the middle of International Nurses Week celebration, we were still reaching out to you. We even help you fix your document to send it to your employer. How else, you know? So I can go on and on as to how we tried, but our kindness did not, our kindness was taken advantage of. So let everyone who hear me here know today that if you have any expectation of NIC, bring that expectation out so we can clarify this is who we are, this is who we're not, so that you know it, so that your expectation don't fall short like this in such a way that is so disappointing to you, and it breaks our heart that such person had to go. We're here to promote each other's, propel each other forward, but don't expect what we cannot deliver. And that just makes a day that is not promising for anyone. But yeah, live, what I say, live and learn. We've lived and we've learned from this, and moving forward, we'll definitely have a proper channel of doing it.
Yes. I agree with Evelyn as well as Dr. Nyampu. I believe we are on a mission and we have to stick very, very close to the mission, and what God has assigned us to do. And I do not think what she wanted was anything close to our mission.
She
And
wanted legal representation,
yes,
and
that's what she wanted.
nobody in here is a lawyer.
Yes, and even if we were, that's still not our mission.
Well, so not just jump up and go to another country and start taking over their law. They don't do that. They always find someone there that can represent their client while they're the middleman, something like that, you know. So
I just want to say before we leave is for the people coming in, if they don't align or what they're looking for, it doesn't align with what Nurses in Charge stands for. It's okay for them not to be part of Nurses in Charge, because what's gonna happen is, if we're not looking for numbers, and if we get people on board who don't align with our mission and vision, and we allow them to stay for the sake of being nice, or trying to help them out, what's going to happen eventually is that the people who are there for our mission and vision, they're going to be so weighed down that they can't actually execute the mission and vision. We need people who are allies, and who, we don't have a top-down policy. We don't have a hierarchy. We have a hub spoke. So we need to be able to hold both hands of people around us, and hold it around like in a hug way, not in a pulling up way, because then that's just gonna burn everybody out.
Okay.
Okay.
this wraps up our time. Thank you so much. I can't say thank you enough, because you could have been somewhere else for the past 45 minutes doing something different. You care enough to show up for us to debrief like this. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Have a good day. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.